What were your thoughts when you learned that the Jets acquired Harrison Phillips from the Vikings?
I was super excited, man. I've been a fan of his for a little minute, man. The things that he done at Buffalo and the things he done at the Vikings with that successful defense and the things that they did great last year. I was super excited to bring him in and teach us some things, teach me some things, and to help the defense be what we know it can be. So it's a great thing.
How do you think he can help this defense?
Oh, just being himself, man. He's a great football player in general, a great leader on the field and off the field, and a great run stopper, a great pass rusher. So the things that he can do, the things he can help each and every one of us in that defensive line room with the experience that he has is going to be a great token to have. So,
what do you look for in a wingman?
Just to be themselves. I don't really look for anything. I think that's the GM and the scouts thing like that. So everybody in that defensive line room is unbelievable, and we work every single day hard as we can to get better every single day to be the best players we can be on the field and off the field. So that's kind of what I expect out of myself and everybody in the defensive line room, to be the best player that we can be at that moment. So.
You got 13 days before the home opener. Just what's your mindset this week, and like what are you focusing on?
Focus on getting better. Focus on doing the things that we've been doing this whole training camp. Focus on the standard, the culture, and just doing the things that we know we need to do to win football games this year. And that's keeping the main thing. So,
obviously, this time of the season is always the hardest part for any coach, because you're trying to build a roster. And man, there was a number of guys that was in camp with us, including OTAs and all that have been working our asses off. And you can only have 69, all right? That's your 53 and your 16 on the practice squad. So there's a good amount of guys that you have to release. And that's always tough for any coach. And I've said this before. My job is hopefully to be able to help those men get on another squad, if possible. So we're going through that process. And the next thing that's happening with us is, man, we're still – mentality-wise in the training camp mode that we're trying to get better. And we're going to do this today when we go to practice. Tomorrow, same thing in our walkthrough, and then Wednesday on our practice for our players have some time off. So looking forward to these practices, looking forward to how we continue to build this roster. And once this week is over with, we'll have the men that we're going to go to battle with. So looking forward to that also. So any questions?
How much is Pittsburgh on your mind now in terms of thinking about game planning and stuff? And when do you kind of introduce that to the players?
Well, the season is on my mind, and my team is on my mind. So the one thing I want to focus on, just like I said earlier, is, man, we're going out like this is a training camp practice for the most part, and we're focused on us. And at some point, we will introduce Pittsburgh. That's for me to let the players know, and we'll go like that.
Some of the guys that have been injured the last couple of weeks, are they on track to playing week one?
I would say like Tyrod. I think he's on track. Sauce is on track. Isaiah, he's on track. I feel really, really good with the guys that were injured and where they're at right now. Obviously, they still have a protocol they have to go through as far as getting themselves ready, but I do feel good about those guys.
You didn't mention Lazard. Where is he?
Same with Lazard.
Aaron, with there's been so much speculation about the Jets maybe getting a veteran wide receiver and trading for a wide receiver and so forth.
Yeah.
Where are you at with that, and also with the current group, with your veteran guys there?
Well, I'll let you guys do that. The speculation comes from you guys. The thing that we try to do here is we try to build our roster. And we don't let any of that information out, and I'm not going to let you know right now. So I like where we're at as far as the team's concerned, but we're still always looking. And we still have more practices to go for guys to continue to earn their keep, and that'll happen when time needs to be.
Can you speak about special teams' value in terms of roster evaluation?
That's always important, and to me, I look at that. Look at the versatility of the players as far as playing a number of positions. And guys that can actually be the flag bearers when it comes to special teams. And we have a couple of guys that's done a really good job of that. And, I think in today's age, as far as being a starter, you still have to have special teams value. For example, our corners should be really good at being jammers on the punt return team and being able to do that. Our running backs have to have some value when it comes to being on the punt team as far as one of the wings. And you guys have seen Isaiah do that quite a bit. So the more value you bring on special teams, that makes you more valuable as a player.
What did you guys like about Phillips and Breaks? What did they add for you, and what made you want to bring them?
Yeah, well, I'm happy that we had a chance to go and get those guys. The first thing, they fit who we are. Tough, physical, aggressive, resilient men that love football. Listen, I've been playing against Harrison for a while, him being in Minnesota, me being in Detroit. And I've said this before. He was a guy when he became a free agent that we were looking at when I was in Detroit as being, one of our D tackles. And obviously, Minnesota paid him. But both of those men, they really fit who we are. And I think they're going to be really good for the locker room and for that room.
How much debate, conversation, everything about the roster is going on right now with you, Rouge, with the coaching staff, with the scouts? How much is that consuming? I
mean, that's part of the business around every team. I mean, as far as the GM and the head coach, you're always looking at everything when it comes to building your roster. And listen, we get input from a number of people within the building. When it comes to our coaching staff, when it comes to the scouts, that's the best way to go about that. And we have a process that I think is outstanding as far as getting the information. Me and Moose sitting down talking about it, and then we're trying to hash out how we want to build this roster.
You've talked about your starting this business as a scout.
Yeah.
And how much does that help you this time of year?
It helps me quite a bit because I understand what those guys go through. And there's a ton of work that's been put in as far as really evaluating all these guys. You have information from when they were in college all the way to now, and then guys that's been in the league for a while that you see get released, that you can go back on that knowledge of when you did evaluate them, to see if they can help your team. So, listen, I have all the confidence in the guys that we have, and again, I know how it is. I know the work that's put in, and I have a lot of trust in what those guys do because I know how the work that's put in.
Is it different cutting a player as a head coach rather than being his defensive coordinator?
To me, it's all the same. You're releasing the player, and being able to talk to them and tell them the reasons why. And I think that's my job to be able to do that. And I did that as a coordinator. I actually did as a position coach too. I want to talk to those guys and just, first off, give them appreciation for what they've done. I think you have to do that. And then give the whys. And if there's anything I could talk about improvement-wise, I'll talk to them about that also because you got to give them a chance. And I think it's important for every coach not only give the good but also give the bad of how the player can improve.
Can you, one guy we haven't asked you a whole lot about is Tony Adams. How does he fit into what you want to do and also within the structure of your safety position?
Well, he's still here, so he fits.
Okay.
So I think it's obvious. But, man, he's impressed me because he knew what his situation was as far as battling. And a lot of guys felt the same way, too. And all he did was keep his head down and work. And that's what we ask for with all of our players. Listen, don't worry about what's to your right, to your left, man. Just focus on what's in front of you and what you're trying to accomplish and what we're trying to accomplish, and everything will work out. And even if it's not on this team, it'll be on somebody else's team because you worked your ass off to a point to where you put good film on tape. So he's doing a really good job for us. I love the way he communicates. He does a really good job with Cisco as far as getting everybody lined up. But I'm happy with him.
Couple more.
Aaron, going back to the receivers for a second, what do you like about that group right now and the development you've seen from OTA or starting?
Yeah. Well, there's a number of skill sets in that room. We can go down the line with the guys. G-Dub, he can do it all. We've talked about him. Aaron has improved tremendously as far as understanding how to run routes, and his hands has improved. J-Ray, man, the savvy vet that knows how to get open, that can read zones. Lazard's a really good blocker in the slot. He's a big target for all quarterbacks to be able to go up and get 50-50 balls. I can go down the list. Tyler, he's another savvy vet. Kind of reminds me of J-Ray when it comes to being able to get open his own. So there's a number of different skill sets within that room that we feel like we can take advantage of.
Some tough decisions there, right? Because you get.
It's always tough decisions. Absolutely. But you know what? I'd rather be in that position than when they're not tough. So